Hey, so welcome to Free Range America.
Hello.
There is a knock at the door right as we started we started the show.
We're just going to keep it going. Kurt's on it.
Yeah, none of us are expecting guests.
Nope.
We
aren't. So this is a great episode because I've been wanting to interview BJ for quite a while. But why couldn't we do it last time? I think, what was I doing? Jim York, I think, sat down.
Yeah, there was a scheduling conflict.
Right? Was it last year?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So
how's it going, brother?
This is great because I've been following you, your page, your stuff for the last several years. You've got kind of a iconic personality.
Thank you.
I would say that.
And I really like your first name. I do have to make this one joke because I was texting Kurt, and I was like, where are you? And he's like, I'm waiting in the lobby for BJ. And I was like, Kurt, that is inappropriate. I will not give you a blowjob. Yeah. And then he wrote back a very, very embarrassed meme. It was good.
It's a nickname I got in elementary school, and it just stuck.
Really?
No.
I was like, man, you suck a dude's dick once, and your nickname's BJ for the rest of your life. Is it short?
Some really attractive teachers in elementary school. I got super lucky.
Well,
I wish I did.
Were they
I did not.
I wasn't like
30-ish dudes
to want to date me at 9 years old.
Yeah.
Right.
You always have to wonder where that switch is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I don't.
Some of these teachers look so good. It's
I know.
You could have got on Tinder and had anybody you wanted.
Maybe they wanted to influence the future of America in a positive way and not be reliant on someone else's dreams, Jared.
Where she's like, "Oh, don't worry, I know the teacher of that one."
Did anybody here go to college? You probably went to college, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, did you just ignore me like I have? I went to goddamn college.
That
Come
guy
on,
over
man.
there that looks smart and refined, he definitely has been to
the
some
guy with the
schooling.
flannel.
The guy with the leather jacket and douchebag hair definitely didn't go to college. I mean, it was online college. Doesn't really count.
Why does it? What was the answer, or what was the question?
Oh, I was just wondering if anybody here went to college.
Yeah,
Jared
waste of
didn't.
money.
No,
It was a waste of money.
Yeah.
it's a racket.
Yeah.
I have a liberal
It's
arts
like
degree, so it's
programming
nothing.
now. Yeah, liberal arts degree.
Yeah.
I feel like it's like programming now, like left-wing not concentration. It's just like, a lot of college students are just very, very different than they used to be 15, 20 years ago.
From my understanding, too, talking to people, just the education system as a whole has become so progressive, and they live in this, scholarly bubble of, emotion, not fact-based.
Yeah.
And even some things in history they don't cover, and it's all about, what bathroom should I be using, rather than talking about, hey, this is what socialism is, and this is why it doesn't work, and this is how wars are started, so maybe we don't make those fucking decisions again.
I'm very, the entire mechanics or functionality of how we've set it up, where it's a private business that collects your money.
It's a private government subsidized business.
Yeah, so it's even worse.
It's even worse.
That collects your money and then grades you. I don't understand it. Why?
You pay for something.
Yeah,
to
you're
grade you.
paying for
Right.
a degree. You're essentially, why do teachers even care at that point? If your check's clear, who cares? Just give them the fucking piece of paper.
Right.
It's just interesting. I was sorry to interrupt, but you're talking about what bathroom to use. A very pretty young lady that I know very well. We were entering a casino and we had to go eat, and she had to use the restroom. And they were doing maintenance on the female restroom.
Right.
And I was like, dude, just go in here. It's 2019. Just go in there.
Yeah.
And she's like, all right, whatever. There's nobody in there. She went in there to go to the bathroom, and then came out, and security was out there like, hey, that's not okay. You can't go in the bathroom, really digging into her. And I was like, no, you don't understand. It's okay. She identifies as male. And it's like he saw a ghost. He's like, oh, shit, I better not fuck with this. All right, that's fine. I'm going to take
And it worked?
Yeah, it worked.
Oh, that's so
He was fucking terrified.
It's so good.
Wow.
It's that was the magic word.
Yeah.
I feel like people use that to create a scene. I have nothing against transgender. I'm super pro-gay, all that stuff. But it's just it's when we focus on the smallest issues in society and forget the big ones. That's when I'm just this is so ridiculous,
Yeah, it's terrible.
The fact that she's gonna get in trouble, and then you can just be like, identify as the bathroom. Oh, okay, you're part of the porcelain, are ya? You know, it's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm waiting to use the excuse the next time I get pulled over for 153 and a 75 to just be like, I identify this road as the Daytona 500.
The next
See what they say.
Yeah.
I like that.
The next time.
The next time.
You were
Next
pulled
time.
over for going 153 and a 70?
Actually, I think the fastest I've ever been pulled over is 123 and a 75. I always make sure that there's, it's safe conditions. There's no other drivers around.
Right.
And the road's good. All my tires are dialed. There's no holes in my tires. And it's in a vehicle designed to go far faster than that. But, anything over that, by the time they pull out to pursue you, you're 4 or 5 miles down the road. So you just take the next exit and
Sneak away.
Well, I mean, anything that you're in, you just go through the desert. We can't follow you.
I think you can say whatever you want in
Yeah.
podcasts as long as you just go allegedly.
Allegedly.
Because then you're not really
Yeah.
admitting guilt.
some of this is fiction.
Yeah.
What is one of the times that you actually scared yourself in a truck?
That doesn't happen often. A lot of people, they see my videos or like I'll tell them like, what I do, or there'll be fans that come up and like, man, that must be an incredible adrenaline rush. And I have to tell them like, well, not really, you know, because if there's an adrenaline rush, like
You're not calm.
Yeah, you're not calm. It's like you do your MMA training, your kickboxing, and all that stuff. Like if you have adrenaline, because I can identify with that because I used to do that stuff when I was younger. I used to train with fighters and jits and with Dana White. But if you're excited and you have adrenaline, you got like 45 seconds. You're not going 3 or 5 rounds, and you're not making the right decisions. You're not slipping. You're not checking kicks and stuff like that. It's the same in the truck. All.
Well, I'd
forms of
imagine, right? It's
sports are the
hyper taxing on your central nervous system because it's like all the energy and the stress and the tightening the muscles, restricting your breathing. It's like that's why calmness is key, I think, in anything. And I imagine driving is very similar, right?
It's very similar. So like my max heart rate with doing any kind of significant exercise is like 175. I try to stay around 160, and then my resting heart rate when I was doing. I had the opportunity to do some skill building in my truck, which I don't hardly have the opportunity to do that unless it's on race day and I got to make something happen because I got to advance 30 seconds to make my fuel pit so that nobody passes me or a situation like that. But I got to do some skill building at a 17.5-mile loop that had a lot of different really good elements and really dangerous elements in it. And my resting heart rate when I was just trying to, do my thing as fast as I could was, I think, 90 beats per minute while driving. And my resting heart rate, is normally like in the 65 range.
Right.
So it's not like anybody else that doesn't have a lot of experience. It'd be in the 150s. And they wear out super quick. You just consume a ton of calories, a ton of water.
You're tightening.
You get really... And one of the things, everybody knows Ivan Stewart. One of the things that I learned from him, he's a pretty good friend of mine, is like just staying controlled and relaxed. And it's not... Racing is not about racing. If you're trying to win a race and you're in a big, gnarly dogfight, it's not about... racing in the sense that you would think about, like, I got to drive. It's about efficient operation, and that's where speed comes from, and that's what keeps you out of trouble. It's a very fine line between maximum efficiency and making mistakes, and that's when adrenaline happens. I'll straight up scream like a fucking bitch when it's like I'm coming close to, like a rock, and I'd miscalculated something, or a cliff, or a rock wall. Or I hit something way hard and the truck's like in the air for 15 minutes. That's when I'll have like a massive adrenaline dump, which doesn't happen very often. And then the biggest adrenaline dump that I have is during a crash.
Right.
Because I know there's a cage and the thing's really strong, but that shit is not fun. Everything goes very slow, and you start to hear twisting metal and corners being pulled off the truck, and
you're just waiting, I'm sure,
can't
to feel
wait till
what's going to hit
over.
you.
You cannot wait. Exactly. You can't wait till it's over. And, your body's hitting the straps, and you're going from, 70 to 25 miles an hour to 10 miles an hour. really quickly, and that's when I have the biggest adrenaline dump. Like, get out of the fucking thing as soon as it stops,
Right.
so you don't fucking burn it. That's my number one fear.
That's what you're thinking about.
Oh yeah, for sure. Get the fuck out of it,
the
because
fuck
you
out.
have 75 gallons of fuel that cost $18 a gallon in the back of the truck.
And that's a question for me, because some of the audience, I'm sure BJ Baldwin, like everybody probably has heard that name before. You're huge in the sport and stuff, but like, what do you actually like compete in, and what is it?
For those that don't know, that's a good question. For those that aren't familiar with me, I've been in competitive off-road motorsports for a very, very long time, about 2 decades, and I've been in the pro class of the trophy truck division for about 16 years, and I have several marketing partners, and I'm fortunate enough to, through a lot of hard work and intelligence, to be able to say that I have a full functioning, self-sustaining off-road racing team that runs off of sponsorship contributions.
How long are some of those races? They get fucking long, right?
Yeah, so long distance off-road racing is, to put this into perspective to people that don't know about it, everybody knows what like a Ford Raptor is, right?
Yeah.
Right.
We
My test
both
session-
own one. You know, hey, whoa, we're Baja racers, dude. I race to the gas
I
station.
know exactly what you're doing, man.
So like, yeah, like the Raptor or TRD Pro Tundra or Jeep, or, you know, with big shocks or whatever. In my test section where I do suspension development and tuning, it's a 13-mile loop, but the bulk of it is about 1.5 miles long. Any one of those trucks is going to go through there at about 18 to 24, 25 miles an hour. That's as fast as you can get going through there.
A Raptor, even?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
And if you go any faster than that, it's smashing the bottom of the truck into the ground.
Right.
And if you just try and commit at like entering at like 50 miles an hour, it will probably explode.
Really?
Yeah. And just to give people that don't know an idea of the performance, my truck will go through that same section at anywhere between 114 and 117 miles an hour.
Holy shit.
Jesus.
That's crazy, man.
That's the deficit on that?
It's fucking huge.
18 to 24 miles an hour, and then you're going, well,
118. I'm
saying then 118
regular,
and you're...
Yeah.
How much does one of those trucks cost? That has to be so freaking expensive. If you don't mind saying.
No,
or,
not
like,
at
on
all.
average.
To build one, it's 3 months.
Let me guess.
Go ahead.
$750.
No, I'm going to say 1.2. Let's guess.
Going 680.
You have to be talking to your microphone for the audience.
680.
Okay.
In today's environment, to build a 4-wheel drive, which I'm looking to build, it's about $700,000.
Nice.
Yeah. You were close.
Oh.
I mean,
But that's not fair. You
quick.
drive fast shit all the time, Jared.
Well, and you know, I've heard race team specs before too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it adds up. I mean, you know, the brakes are $35,000 in a box on the ground. The rear end housing is $15,000. The engine that's, you know, will go 1,300 miles before you need a rebuild is about $80,000. The transmission is
1,300 miles before rebuild.
That's how many miles I get out of my motor.
And then how much does it cost to rebuild it?
About $32,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's insane.
It's like plane maintenance.
Yeah, that's insane. Like there's 100 mile per hour difference between a Raptor, a
Ford
performance automobile,
Yeah.
and then your daily driver. What is it? What's your daily driver? I mean, pickup. No, I know you have cars too, but
It's a Toyota Tundra.
correct.
But
I have a feeling it's modded a little bit.
Is it modded? Do you have it like hyper modded? Your daily driver?
Yeah, I had one. It was Toyota was actually supposed to send me another truck for a project build, but I'm still waiting for it. But I did one that was when I first entered into my agreement with Toyota Motorsports. They sent me a Tundra, and I just did everything to it.
Really?
And all after, like the best aftermarket suspension for a production vehicle
Right.
would probably be Camberg system, and all the best shocks. I reinforced the frame to withstand a little bit more abuse.
What's your travel on it?
It was 22 inches in the front and 21 inches in the back.
Jesus.
Right. So just to give you an idea.
It's about 6 stock.
Yeah. Yeah, just to give you an idea as it relates to using that test platform as an example, 18, 24 miles an hour for, what you can get off the showroom floor.
Yeah.
That truck will probably go through there at 35 miles an hour.
Okay.
So the difference between everything that you can do to something you get off the showroom floor and putting $100,000 into worth of
10
labor.
miles an hour.
And,
that's $100,000 modifications. Like
everything that I did to it, because I made it like super Gucci, and it had the Rolls Royce Starry Night stuff in it before anybody had any kits to do that with, and hydraulic jacks that were ran off the power steering pump.
That's
cool thing.
Cool.
I feel like your answer might be a little biased because you said you had an agreement with Toyota, but I grew up driving Toyota Tacomas and Tundras. I actually had a TRD Tundra.
Yeah.
But is there a big difference between these sports performance trucks, or however you want to classify them, coming off the market? Because I'd imagine a lot of people listening are like, which one's the greatest one to buy? Do I buy the Ford Raptor? Do I buy the Toyota TRD? Do I buy the new Dodge, whatever the fuck they throw?
Rebel. Yeah.
'Cause I feel like a lot
is
of
that what that's called? The Rebel?
Yeah.
It's like they wanted to make it look like a
Raptor.
Yeah.
It's funny because a lot of these other companies,
Chevy's doing it too now.
Yeah, but they don't go down to Baja. They don't put their like a lot of these other companies. Raptor's done a lot of testing.
Yeah.
Ford's done a lot of testing with their vehicle, and Toyota's done a lot of testing with Ivan Stewart with their vehicles. But other than those two manufacturers, if they haven't put somebody in the truck that knows a lot, such as me or Rob McCacken or Bryce or whoever, to help development, and which takes a couple years,
right?
In a test mule, if they haven't done that, they are really just rolling the dice and saying, well, maybe this will work.
Throw a lift and some stickers on it and charge you $50,000 more.
Yeah. So
that's fair. I feel like there's. I'll give it to Ford. I love Toyota as well, but they kind of feel like they revolutionized the just straight off the shelf kind of performance quote unquote truck, because that was back in the day, early 2000s. It's like you had to buy a stock pickup, get the lift, get the tires, get the shocks, and all of that. And then for me, I don't need a race car, but I had a standard F-150, and then we drive a lot of. They go hunting all the time, and having the Raptor, even the difference from a stock F-150 comparatively to a Raptor. Night and fucking day as far as the performance and how fast I can go on some bumpy roads.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is nice for a consumer like me because I don't really know that much about vehicles. And Jared has a Ford performance car too. It's a Focus. He keeps telling me it's performance. And
nice.
It is Ford performance vehicle.
Nice.
Yeah.
Which model?
It's the RS.
That thing's badass.
It's fun. It's fun.
He's validated them. Damn it.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'll show it to you. It's wild.
Those things run pretty good.
I broke it. But
I want to get a Supra.
A what?
The new Supra?
Toyota Supra.
The new one?
Yeah, the new
that
one.
looks cool.
What's a Supra? I have no idea.
Supra was an old Toyota sports car back in the 90s.
So funny story about a Toyota Supra, which is a super funny story. The Delta Force guys that I knew up in northern Iraq, we would race against. They had
didn't you have a BMW
they had a custom
and they had a Supra?
Old Toyota Supra that they had completely they basically just took the fucking skin off the old Supra and then put a fucking Corvette chassis and engine and a bunch of other shit in it. So when they'd fire up this fucking Supra, it sounded like a fucking muscle
old
car.
School muscle.
Yeah. It's just really nasty. And I would race them in this. I had this Mercedes V12, and we would be racing up and down the fucking hills in those things. But either way, Toyota Supra, the old ones, they're it's a crazy looking.
Is
car.
the new one turbo?
Because
Toyota hasn't come out with a turbo engine.
So. I don't think it is. I don't know too much about it. They had the pace car at my shop, and they wanted to do some content.
It looks a lot like a Corvette now. They made it really wide.
Yeah, it's pretty wide. I think they're gonna. They started here, and I think the future models in the next 2 years are going to be really badass, like really,
Well,
really gnarly.
all your major manufacturers in the last 2 years have been trying to kind of emulate these supercars. The new Corvette looks like a Ferrari almost.
Yeah, the mid-engine one. I think they fucked that up.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like it.
Why?
Well, it's not nasty anymore.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's what a Corvette was. It was, front engine. You sit far back on the tires, so it's a gnarlier experience when you have somebody that knows how to drive.
Right.
I'm a big Corvette fan. I had one. I had a C6 with an LSX block. It was 480 inches. It had the gnarliest cam in it, heads and valve train, and all natural. And we call it the Black Widow. I'm always telling Tori stories about it, how she has it so good riding my Porsche, because my Corvette, it would not stop smoking the tires until it got to about 115 miles an hour.
Wow.
It was really nasty.
How fast would you burn through tires then, I'd imagine?
Oh, I'd go through tires like every 4,000 miles. I'd run them down to where they're so bald you could actually see the air inside of them.
Wait, how did you get started in this stuff, man? It's not like you just graduate from high school and be like, all right,
No.
well, fuck it, I'm gonna go race trucks.
No, everybody's that's a question that's often asked, and I like to spread good in the world and give people advice about where a lot of young people look up to me and say, hey, I want to do this or I want to do that. Or a lot of them are like, man, I want to grow up and be a professional truck racer.
Right.
And my best advice for them is, you got to get in where you fit in, and don't ever waste a fantastic opportunity. So. I've had a bunch of different jobs. I've been a bartender, I've been a real estate agent. My first job was working at American Shooters when I was 13 years old. I used to sweep the ranges and clean. I was like their maid for 2 weeks, and then it evolved into me cleaning guns. Then before you knew it, everything was really loose back then. So I was 13 before I knew it, like renting machine guns to people. At
God
American
bless
Shooters.
America.
I know, right? But as it relates to my ability to have this career, I started in a buggy, and I did all my prep work. Like, really, really low budget. It was very, very cheap. I did all my own rebuilds, reassemblies, prep, and everything. The only thing I didn't do was rebuild the motors, but my motors would last forever back then. And then it was, my dad ran, he still runs casinos in Las Vegas, and he said, well, I want to see you in a Class 1 car, and it was privately funded, like a family-funded program, and then he went for a ride in a trophy truck when I was like 22 years old, and he's like, I'm done fucking around. Let's fucking get one of these. I was like, are you crazy? Do you know how expensive that thing is?
Right.
Do you have any idea? And he was doing really well at the time. And he said, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. We're putting you in one of those. I don't want you in that Class 1 car anymore, because I had just been in a huge fire.
Right.
And I had been in a crash as well that I had gotten hurt in. And he's like, I don't want you in a car that's 2,500 pounds. I want you in a 6,500 pound missile.
Right.
So I was like, all right. And we did it for 3 years. And he's like, listen, motherfucker, you got to figure this shit out, because this shit's way too fucking expensive. You better start hunting down sponsorship programs and whatnot. So I ended up talking to a bunch of guys that are smarter than me as it relates to promotion and marketing. And I started making content. Before it was super gnarly and super cool. And I ended up raising my profile in that sport, and I landed my first big contract through another tire company. I had to sacrifice being on a good tire to being on this shitbox tire. I had a 5-year contract with them, and they paid me very, very well. They covered about half of my motorsports budget, and then I signed with Monster.
What year is that when you signed a tire deal?
That was 2009.
Oh, okay.
That was 2009. And then I signed with Monster, and it was like their marketing as well as Monster's marketing just worked really well with each other, because one of them handled print and the other one handled digital media marketing, and it tremendously raised my profile in having people kind of idolize my my journey. And then I signed with Toyo. Thank God. Oh my God. The tires,
Toyo? Yeah, they make great tires, right?
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, I'm running
baby
Toyos
Jesus.
on mine.
Yeah, the other tire company that I was had to be on for 4 years. I mean, you drive through a swarm of bees, you get 4 flats. They were awful. They were awful. I won't mention them because I love the guys there still. But Toyo,
The hard part, great people, but their products just kind of.
I know. All they had to do is build
They
a
pay
bigger
me a little
tire.
less and go get a better product.
Yeah,
If
you get a
don't do
mosquito
that-
bite, they go flat. But Toyo, is a Japanese company that were super, super obsessive about having the best shit. And they really do. That's why I'm still with them. I have the opportunity to go with any tire manufacturer, and I ain't fucking going nowhere. Right after that, and the side effect of that was I got really good at dodging rocks. Like really, really good at dodging rocks at a very high rate of speed. And the side effect was as soon as I signed with them, I won another championship and championship after championship. Then I won the Baja 1000 in 2012, and then again in 2013. So it was a really
Happy
big
with you.
deal. Yeah, well, I'm happy with them, man. As they really propelled my career in a sense that I was able to produce a tremendous amount of results in a very short time. So,
Are you still with Monster to this day?
yeah,
Okay, cool.
for sure. And they've been really good to me. They've been really good for me, and because of those two very large marketing partners and everything that I've been able to add to that, I've managed to procure about 8 other companies that help fund the program so that it's sustaining, and we're making a little bit of money now. So it's been hard work to try and please
World is
everybody.
expensive.
Yeah, it's very expensive. To run a truck for a year is $1.2 million.
1.2.
Yeah,
That's what your budget is.
that's what my budget is, and all my various marketing partners.
Wow.
Out of curiosity, how do you guys forecast like a budget as far as operationally for the vehicle? Because I'd imagine crashing one, doing something like that, it's like, guess what? 1.2 is scheduled, but now I got to rebuild the motherfucker, and it's 700. Is there?
Well, it never gets to that. Like if I had like a really, really bad crash, say if I had to rebuild the truck from the front windshield to the front bumper,
Right.
it's probably an extra $25,000 or $30,000. It's got to go on the chassis table, get straightened out, rebuild the front clip, which it's already laser cut tubes. They just got to stick them together and weld them together. But that's not, if I crash it really bad, that's not really a big deal. Just got to get it fixed. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it's pretty uniform. We're taking something that is a one-off build, and we're putting 900 horsepower behind it and making it go 143 miles an hour off-road and 110 miles an hour or 60 miles an hour through the harshest and most brutal environment possible. They really don't have materials on the planet that we can produce this vehicle with to make it last. So I have to be careful with it. If I get mad and I throw a fucking tantrum, I could break the thing in 10 minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
So you have to take it easy on your
I have to operate within 95% if I want it to live.
So is there a lot of that to understand, kind of like, I'll use a shitty term, I'm using like an MMA, the athleticism of your vehicle? Because I'd imagine like
Yes.
the do's and don'ts for longevity of that vehicle, you have to know it like your best friend, because if you're like, I think what you were just saying, fuck
Yeah.
it, pedal to the floor, blah, 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 blah,
Yeah.
break.
We've and maybe you can answer some of this question. The sport is kind of odd to me because in the last few years we've seen some random people with no driving experience jump in one of these trucks.
Yeah.
Why is that?
how
and
is
is
that-
that something that you're kind of like, don't
is
be
that-
anywhere near me?
I mean, it's
Is
for
there,
them.
Are there looky-loos, like just rich people like saying, fuck it, let me buy a truck and try it out? Like,
It's
is there a lot of
it's
that?
very, very rare.
Right.
I mean, most of the guys that you're talking about, they have some experience racing before they hop into it. If they didn't, have a significant amount of test time and learning the vehicle,
Right.
then they would be upside down and on fire, pulling out of the driveway. You know,
Some of that happens.
Yeah, and I've seen some of that happen. I had a really bad situation. Not me, but somebody that I know that kind of just showed up to the party with the truck and said, "I want to race the Baja 1000." They blew the third corner into a crowd of people, and
Wow.
Holy
good.
Really?
Wow.
yeah,
Did anybody
two
die?
fatalities.
Oh no.
Jesus.
It's
I've always wondered that in motorsports because some of those like Baja racing and the other stuff, like the crowds are literally like 10
It's terrible.
feet off the turn. And I like to take calculated risks and be a fucking moron. But
Yeah.
for me, I'm like, I'm not going to let someone else define my future if they slip and just take that. Like, it's crazy to me how close people are allowed to stand to some of these races.
And I do a lot of nonverbal communication and education. When I see that, when I come through there, it looks like a 10-year-old on meth that
Right.
just got done playing
Just
Grand Theft
get
Auto,
out.
and they scatter like roaches when you turn the lights on, which is good for the next guy that comes through there, so that they have that healthy fear. But they don't get it a lot of the times, and unfortunately, sometimes people get hurt. It's just like rally racing in Europe. Sometimes cars goes.
Yeah,
over
I've
the
seen a
ground.
lot of those and like trees saving people's lives, but
Yeah, that highlight
wild.
reel is rad. I know
Wild.
exactly what you're talking about.
Have you done any rally? Have you gotten in cars and done any rally and like?
I have.
Yeah.
I have. I was actually going to start a rally program in 2008, but I didn't have the sponsorship backing to put it together.
Right.
But that's specifically rally style driving is what I've applied and what I've learned that I've had the highest success rate with, and I'm fortunate enough to have an obsession with car control that's different than anybody else in my sport of off-road racing, and that's helped me a great deal. Usually when we get to like mountain roads where the consequences of going off are dire, like it's a 100 200 foot cliff, and if you go off you're cooked. Usually when I get there I gap everybody, and there's
Right.
only like 2 other guys that can run that hard in that scenario. So if I got like 50 or 60 miles of that, even the next best guy, I'm fortunate enough to say I could put minutes on him.
Right.
what's the closest to, oh fuck, this is it moment you've had? Because if people have watched sport, and I've watched it in very limited quantities, but I've seen dudes' tires half on the dirt, half off, and there's a 600-foot drop kind of thing where like
Yeah.
you're gonna. What's that one moment in your career that stood out where you're like, if the God didn't blow a little wind behind this vehicle, I'm getting cooked like a freaking barbecue down there in my vehicle.
Well, it hasn't been situations like that because usually when you're in a hurry and you got to make time because you're like, this is really important. I've got 100 miles to go and I need to make minutes on this person in order to win or in order to podium or whatever it is. You take a significant level of risk, and you're almost crashing like for hours. So it's so even then I don't get like a
Almost in a
significant-
crash.
Yeah,
I
it's
just didn't know there was
straight
one where it
fucking
was like
mayhem.
real close, but so when you're actually like behind on something, you're taking obviously an escalated level of
It's
calculated risk throughout that process.
It's uncomfortable because I'm going 105%, and I know my skill set, and I know what I'm capable of. And when it comes to stuff like that, where it's really important that I do well, and I have to go outside of my comfort zone, it's really not fun for me at all because I know how dangerous it is. I know what can happen. To answer your question about the moments that have been like, fuck, this is it. 2002, I was in the biggest fire that I've been in a few fires, but this one was really big. The flames were 30 feet tall. I was getting fuel at a pit, and the overflow from the dump tank, it was in my low budget buggy days, went into my air filtration system that runs on an electric motor, which we all know runs off of spark. And it blew burning rubber and burning paper into my helmet and caught fire. And I had tanks on each side, people on each side dumping fuel. and they both pulled the fuel nozzles out at the same time through panic, and it went into my headers and just fucking like a soft explosion.
Wow.
And I tried to get out. My dad was actually riding with me, getting in the car, because I had passed like 13 people in my class in like 100 miles, and he was going to ride the rest of the way. And flames are coming around my helmet, and then it's just like when you get choked unconscious, like, you know, all the color comes out of your vision, and you start seeing like black dots growing before. And I got my window net down, got all my belts off, and then I was paralyzed, and I was like, I wasn't even scared, honestly. I was just like, dude, this fucking sucks. I was most bummed out because I was going to burn to death in front of my dad. And he ran around and pulled me out.
Your dad did?
I was really, really chubby at the time. I was 265 pounds. And he pulled me out like I was light as a feather. And
no shit. So your dad pretty much saved your life.
Oh, he's like Superman. He saved. I don't even know how many people he saved. When I was 6 years old, I watched him jump from table to table to table on this yacht that they were backing in with 50, 60 people on the yacht, because one of the workers that was this girl that was, you know, pretty wet behind the ears as relates to her job, and she fell behind this huge yacht when they were backing it into the dock, and he like hurtled through that shit like Spider-Man, and just snatched her out of the water and pulled her up with one arm. This girl's like 130 pounds. So I'm pretty lucky. My dad's a fucking...
Is your dad Superman? Clark Kent? Is this your father?
You would fucking love him. Everybody here would be like, damn, that dude's fucking rad.
Dude, that's epic.
Yeah,
Still,
he's super rad.
Still working here in Las Vegas, like...
Yeah, he took a hiatus. He built... he started in Golden Nugget, and he was a world champion poker player for many years, and got hired at the Golden Nugget after some unique situations with death threats and kidnapping, and he was just tired. Poker was different back then. People were getting shot all the time and kidnapped and robbed and beat to shit.
Seriously?
Yeah,
when
it was
that?
gnarly.
Was that like in the 70s or something?
Yeah, it was late 70s, early 80s.
Wow.
So he kind of just said, fuck this shit. Steve Wynn actually said, you got to come work for me. You know all everything, and I need somebody to help me run the Golden Nugget. And
right.
And he started working for the Golden Nugget. Still played professional poker only when the World Series was in town. But he, made a huge difference in the Golden Nugget, and made it a better place at the time in downtown. And then he built the first mega resort in the world in the Mirage, and opened that in Thanksgiving in 1989. And then he built Treasure Island. He built Bellagio, and then he built Olive City Center.
In what context is building? Just like leading up the casino aspect of it, or
president, chief executive officer, as well as chief of design and construction.
Holy
Jesus!
Yeah.
Wow.
And is
you're
not sore subject? Is your father around still? Or
yeah, he's still here.
Oh, great,
yeah, he's
dude.
still
That's
here.
Awesome.
Yeah, he's a bad motherfucker. He can walk through a wall of bullets and not even blink. I mean, he's really tough.
That's awesome. I want to meet him. Can I meet him one day?
Dude, you would fucking vibe with him so good. You would fucking love the dude. Yeah. My stepmom's 28 years old.
So solid.
Oh man, this just keeps getting better.
So solid.
I know, right? You should have him on the fucking.
Oh, absolutely. We need to hear these.
I call her mom just because it's funny as fuck.
All I see right there is like from Step Brothers, and you're like, I'm not calling you mom,
yeah.
even if there's a fire.
No, she's from Poland. She's pretty cool, and he makes her happy. That's what's really important. But yeah, I got a brother that's 1 year old, just turned 1. Fucking 39-year age gap.
Yeah.
I know, right?
Oh my god, that's great.
Yeah, my dad fucks.
I mean, you're cool, but your dad seems pretty
He's
fucking cool too.
Let me tell
man.
you guys think I'm cool. My fucking dad, the apple falls really fall from the tree. My dad's cool as a motherfucker. He's a badass.
That's so epic, dude.
So did he grow? Like, where did he grow up? Like, how'd you guys get to Vegas?
Tulsa, Oklahoma. Mm-hmm. And when I was born, he was always I was always picking. my mom and myself, we were always picking him up from the airport, going
Right.
to games, and he's gotten in trouble. They've raided many hotel rooms and houses, breached houses, and gone in and fucking arrested everybody. Which the Gaming Commission knows was full transparency with him and all the stuff that he's been involved in, and just trying to be a gambler and play professional poker. And Vegas, it was just like the best place for him to be, and he was making pretty good money. And we just moved out to Vegas when I was 2.5 years old.
Wow.
That's
wild.
insane.
Yeah.
I have a curious question for you, because I like to hit the weights sometimes, even though when I'm in Vegas, I skip the gym. Got it this morning, so I'm proud of that. But you said early on you were like 265 or some point when your father pulled you out of the buggy.
Yeah.
I didn't
99% body fat.
I didn't realize, but the kind of toll it takes on your body driving on these trucks, and I think Kit Cope and stuff, and like mutual friend, and I'd spoke to him back in the day about him and how he was like actually helping drivers increase their physical performance based off of nutrition, diet, things that help them in the vehicle. And I'm like, what the fucking driver? You just be fat and sit behind there. That's easy. And he started working me through it. I'm like, oh fuck, I didn't think about that. You're driving like 100 miles. You pedal to the fucking metal the whole entire time. So has that been part of you, and you think your success as far as understanding your body and what it takes athletically to be behind the wheel? Not only athletically, I imagine, but cognitively and mentally.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, like I said, I was 265 when I was really, really chubby when I was racing Class 1 and all my buggy races. And then when I realized that, my dad was going to take the big step and give me the opportunity to make this dream that I've had since I was 8 years old a reality, I stopped fucking around with, eating like shit and drinking like all the time and partying. It's Vegas, kid in Vegas, 18 to 24, you just go out 4 nights a week.
I think that's every kid, 18 to 24.
Yeah, but in Vegas, I mean, you
can do it.
Yeah. Makes it easy.
Everything.
And
there is no
beautiful
weekend.
women everywhere. It was crazy.
I'm married. I don't see any.
You're
of
blind
the
to
women.
that stuff?
I don't see any of the women with their pushed up bras and their tight little cocktail dress. I see none of that.
I know, right? But it was as soon as I got that opportunity to make that a reality, and I looked up to guys like Ivan Stewart, and like they were Superman.
Right.
So I'm like, I'm going to get this opportunity to compete with them, and I have the opportunity to race against them and beat them in embarrassing fashion, and that was my goal. So I had done some boxing when I was 18. Dana White was actually my boxing coach when I was like 18, 19.
Seriously? Shut the fuck up. Really?
Yeah, so I've been friends with him for a long time.
That's fucking crazy.
I know. I'm so fucking proud of him. He's such a fucking gangster. So he was my boxing coach, and he wanted me, he wanted to kind of like be my manager and get me into like some of these like not King of the Cage. What was the one the Tough Man competition?
Yeah, Tough.
And then eventually go into amateur heavyweight boxing and then see where he got. But, you guys know this because you guys are all hard ass motherfuckers.
I wouldn't go that far.
It's one thing to learn how to deliver violence, whatever it is, but as it relates to getting punched in the fucking face, it's something that you're kind of either born with or not.
Right.
And I was kind of halfway yes and no. So I was really good technically from a boxing standpoint when I was younger, but I wasn't super enthusiastic about sparring. And I did a lot of it, but I knew I wasn't going to do that. I just wasn't tough enough. It's something you're born with.
It's a weird thing because that's a great analogy. It's not to go on the sports thing for a second, but I feel like I'm the same way. I'm like 50-50 on it where I can get hit if I need to, but I thoroughly don't enjoy it. And then you watch some of these dudes that are performing at a pro level in like the UFC, and they'll eat like overhand rights that would sleep me in 2 seconds, and like 7 of them in a row, and they're just like chugging along forward, and you're like, God, that's got to just be like a Justin Gaethje type. You're like, that has to be a genetic, innate freaking gift that you can just eat the world's biggest power at your weight class and still walk forward. It's bizarre to me, and then not care about it.
It has to be because I've realized more than ever, like I hung out with like a fucking super fucking tough crew when I was younger. And we were always getting in fights. Always. Somebody's always grabbing somebody's girlfriend's butt or like throwing a drink. I almost got in a fight with Fieldy from Korn. And
I was going to say Fred Durst.
And Fred Durst.
Oh, wow.
Fucking Fieldy and Fred Durst poured a drink like on like one of my girlfriends at the table when I was like 22, 23 years old.
Is Fred Durst a dick? I feel like he's a dick. I didn't have to ask since that. Right?
I mean, I didn't get to meet him, and even if which I was really looking forward to it, just to say that I beat the fuck out of my crew, because he had like a big crew up there, and my crew was all super fucking hard ass motherfuckers that were all locals. And they were gonna just throw these guys down the stairs. They didn't care who they were. They were drunk and fucked up. And I don't hold it against them. I still love, their music, and I'm sure they're fucking rad dudes. But that's kind of like the crew I used to think of. So back to what I was talking about, the difference between somebody that is skilled in being able to defend themselves in a bar or on the street or anything, and somebody that is a terrible fighter, like 0-10. The guy that's 0-10 is going to vaporize the guy that's a good street fighter.
Yeah,
like
that's 10-0 in bars.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, but I took a break from training with Dana for like 3 years, and then I got beat up like pretty bad in a fight at this college bar, and I got choked. And Dana had just had the UFC for a year, and I showed up that Monday with my buddy. It was me and my buddy that got in this fight with these three guys, and my buddy got the very small guy, and I got to deal with the two guys, and I almost had the problem solved. But fighting two guys at the same time is not fun at all
For anybody.
Yeah.
No,
I don't care how tough you are.
No,
I'll beat everyone's ass here.
No.
Probably not. Don't
It's
care
not
how
like
proficient
that.
you are.
Yeah. So a guy like Kit Cope, as a professional fighter, is different. He's just anything that he throws his
What
hands
is it?
at.
3 times or 4 times, something like that.
I
World
think it
champion in
was,
Muay Thai.
I think it's 7 times.
3 to 4 pretty quick with just a couple of them kicks.
Oh yeah, no, 4 times. Yeah, 4
He
times.
could probably knock like 3 over with one. Like,
Oh, yeah.
like,
Did you?
Oh, he's
Kid? Did he ever tell you the story, which I'm sure he did, about he actually knocked a Marine out at a bar?
I was there that night.
No shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, for context, and I'd love to hear that, but it was like, so Kit Cope, world champion Muay Thai guy, this guy kept trying to pick a fight with Kit and was like, I'll take you. He's like, dude, back up, back up.
I watched
I'm
that
good, I'm
whole
good.
fucking thing.
Yeah,
I
and
even
it
talked to
started
that
as a
Marine.
fan.
you've
got
got
drunker.
you've got to tell the story then. You've
Oh,
got to tell
dude.
the story.
Yeah.
I was like, I had just met Kit, and he was young and down to fuck whoever up that even looked at him funny. And he's like, for a guy like that's young and a professional fighter, a guy that's 6'3" and 265 pounds, they're just fucking praying that you are deserving of a beating. And I didn't really have the best interaction.
And this is when he was going back and forth to Thailand for
Yes.
months upon months.
Yes, and his skill set was,
I've
that's when he
sparred
really.
Kit before. It's fucking terrifying.
Yeah, it's awful.
He knows every punch you're going to throw at him before you throw it, and he just kind of
Yeah.
moves away, and then there's a
You're
fucking
just moving
there's a
air.
foot in your face.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm good. I got to take this business call outside. So I don't have to spar with you.
I never got
violin
to.
lesson.
He tried so hard not to do that fight.
Yeah, I never got to spar Kit. I didn't really have any interest in that because I knew how that was going to go.
From the story I know, it was like the guy, it was a Marine, I believe, and kept trying to fight Kit.
Oh, yeah.
And then ended up knocking the kid out because he chased him outside. And then Kit went and did jail time
I
because the
watched
judge
that
said, escalation of force, you're such a good fighter. And he's like, yeah, the dude ran at me and was throwing a punch. I just
And
head
he
kicked
shouldn't
him.
have gotten in trouble for that.
Yeah,
I mean,
ridiculous.
I even I wish I would have been around to be interviewed by detectives for that. But I was not like tight with Kit. I was just hanging out with TJ Lavin at the time. I just met him that night. Now we're all fucking super tight. But he's I had met Kit that night. It was at this bar, Beecher's Madhouse or something like that. And this dude is like super fanning over Kit. And he's like, man, why you got to be a dick and just trying to be an asshole to Kit? And I pulled him aside. I'm like, look, dude, I really appreciate what you do. And, nobody I understand you're a Marine, and I probably said the wrong thing. I said, look, nobody wants to see a vet get beat up. And it's probably tough for some people to understand the difference between being really tough. All Marines, are really fucking tough. Just about all Marines, to my understanding, are extremely tough in street fights. They're ready for whatever, and anybody in the military and any of the divisions of the military, they're just.
I would say they have the right mindset, not necessarily the right skill set, because going through basic training and learning, a level 1 jiu-jitsu doesn't make you a black belt.
No, absolutely not. So, I mean, I pulled him aside like, look, you don't understand. He smashes people's face for a living, and he's very, very good at it. Just chill and let me buy. I think I might have even bought him a drink, talked to him for a little bit. It was so long ago, but I watched him go outside and been like, because he kept going back and forth between
whether he liked him or didn't like him.
Well, no, just like being full of rage and then not, and be like, all right, it's cool, and then being full of rage. I think he was trying to look tough in front of some girls or something like that.
Of course,
but.
That's what I would suggest to anybody was like, if you're a young kid full of piss and, testosterone, just like go into a gym and spar a low-level professional in mixed martial arts and go like 60%, and you'll walk away going, oh, I'm probably not going to pick a bar fight ever again.
Yeah.
Because I know the outcome if the dude knows what he's doing.
It's funny. I got in an altercation last night at the cry party.
Are you
Really?
serious?
Shit. With who?
I don't know. Some, with Tori, she's super fucking gorgeous and really approachable and really friendly. And 90% of our community is fucking stand-up, awesome people here at SHOT.
Yeah.
I'm not here to see the latest guns. I'm here to see the majority of it is the people here.
It's your friends.
Yeah, all my friends that I only get to see like once a year. So that's why I'm here every day to fucking interact with everybody and see everybody and say what's up and check in on them. So, yeah, I saw, we were standing by the bathroom and this guy ran up behind us. I saw Tori jump. I was wearing her purse too.
Right.
I had the Louis Vuitton bag that I got her for Christmas.
I bet you pulled it off great too.
Yeah.
It matched your eyes. I didn't even know what color it is, but I bet it matched your eyes.
It's a super fucking death metal LV case because it's all black.
Yeah.
It looks like a coffin with a zipper on it. But and I had both my son's mother's jacket. She was with me. My son's mother's jacket and Tori's jacket, and I pulled all that off, and because she was like, I saw her jump, and she was like, and I knew what happened. She's like, that fucking dude just grabbed me.
What?
And but like in the hip to like move her out of the way. So I probably should have behaved a little bit differently. Maybe I went up to him and pushed him on the shoulder, thinking that he would like take 2 steps and respond with a certain level of violence, so that I would have, so that it would be okay for me to respond accordingly.
Right.
Justified means for an escalated approach to the situation.
Mm-hmm. There you go. It was an invitation, and and I was yelling at him like, "Don't fucking touch women. That's fucking not right." And I was no beef with the guy. I'm sure he was just really drunk, and maybe he didn't realize that was inappropriate at the time. And I yelled at him a couple times, and there was nothing that happened, so I left. But I was really fucking mad. I was really mad, right? They were panicked because Nicole's seen me getting like 50 fucking fights at nightclubs. Because everybody, my son's mother is like, she's really friendly, and everybody's like, oh, she's hot and she's got a crush on me. And I always had to like remedy the situation. But she's actually, we don't go out. I don't go out anymore, so she's actually never seen me have to.
That's the curse of a beautiful girl with a nice personality and being a bigger bearded man, because they're like, oh, big boy, and they got something to prove, and you're like, bro, I literally want to have a shot with my woman and then go fuck her. Like I
don't want.
Bones will be broken tonight. Mine are yours. Like nobody goes home fucking happy.
Those that know me that are listening to this or watching this, they know exactly who I am. The people that have met me. I fucking love people, dude, and I'm always trying to put good out in the world and help people. And a side effect of that is if somebody that I care about has had something that happened to them, I get really fucking mad real quick. and I want to make sure that that doesn't happen to somebody else.
Now, do you get mad when like other dudes grab your hip?
No, because that's kind of flattering.
Okay,
It makes
cool.
me
Well, I was
feel
just,
I mean, I do that all the
situation
time.
out.
Okay.
Yeah, no, we're good
We're on a
with
couch,
that.
on a casting couch
Yeah.
for the
Yeah.
show. I was just
Little
feeling the
touch.
weather.
Yeah.
No, I like that.
He's not even hiding it.
Fights,
He's like, yeah, you know,
trucks,
yeah,
cars.
He's so how
This
would
was
go?
a-
Let's
this was
just
a
say
good
hypothetically
circle.
speaking, you know.
Listen, if
I
I can
haven't
grab his
gotten
hip and he
stuff.
takes me around in a supercar going 118
This
miles
is like
an hour,
the
I'm in.
manly episode.
I know,
Can I
right?
get
It's
a ride
about
along?
fighting and
Yeah.
trucks.
At some point?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
God.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to
pay for the gas.
see you take these two for a ride. That would be good.
Oh, I would love to. Whatever you think your understanding of it is as relates to speed and comfort and performance is probably 20 times that.
I've
I have
been,
no understanding.
I've been in the car. I've been in a rally car with a professional rally driver.
How cool
in
is
a
that?
course, right?
Yeah.
And it scared the fucking shit out of me. I've done really scary shit in my life, like super scary shit.
Think of how I feel. I have to ride with me.
Yeah. And
Do you have a
I was
track here?
white knuckled, like fucking, like it freaked
Oh,
the fuck
sure.
out of me.
Trees coming
and
out.
he's talking to me,
Yeah.
like he's talking to me, like talking to me and looking over at me at the same time, driving.
Well,
I'm
going 80
and I'm
miles
going,
an hour on
yeah,
gravel roads.
Go ahead and look ahead. Look ahead at the road. You can look at the. I'm fine. I can hear you. I can hear you. We can talk. And like the worst part about it, like we were like going down into a fucking hard pin left turn faster than I've fucking driven on a dirt road ever in my fucking
That's
life.
straight.
Yeah. And it's snowing and it's like icy and snowing and he's just like talking to me and I'm like, fuck dude, like you see there's a there's a corner coming up, man. Like you see there's a corner, you know.
That's
like,
what I was
nothing. It
I'm
was
trying
nothing.
to find this dude's Instagram so I could say what it is. But it's funny, whatever, to see the difference in skill sets of that. To your point, Evan, there's this guy I watch. He flies F-16s on Instagram, and I'll tell you after whatever it is. He's awesome, though. He's the same way. He's passing out professional pilots in the military, and he's just like, okay, we're about to hit 9 Gs, and make sure you're squeezing your legs. You're probably, you passed out, okay. And he's so cool,
And
calm,
those
and
are
collected.
pilots for
Yeah.
And he's
Navy and Air
and
Force?
yeah, he'll fly actual pilot. A lot of them keep it together great, but like some of them are just like
Yeah.
catching Z's in the back because they didn't, work the G-force or the G-suit didn't work with their breathing, whatever. I don't know the world that well. But it's the same way. I've been with pro drivers, too, and they're just like, so we're going to hit this turn. You'll feel the back wheel spin out and sliding. And you're like, oh, shit. It'd be so fun. I'm down. Just don't kill me.
Yeah, for sure. No, it's, I mean, like as it relates to testing and take people rides, the nice part about having a certain level of skill set that you built over 2 decades and learning all kinds of stuff is that you don't have to show off at all.
Right.
People are going to be terrified, especially military guys for sure, because they're used to being in Humvees and they have a certain understanding of what a Jeep will do, what a UTV will do.
Right.
And it's their understanding that, man, this is a full-blown race truck. It's got to be twice as fast.
Right.
When in reality, it's like 20 times faster.
Well, not the average person hasn't felt that because, like, I can scare people on our dirt road at the ranch in my
Yeah, for
Raptor,
sure.
like terrify people. And I'm a B- driver, to be honest with you. Like, I'm not that good. I flipped my Razor twice and turned it in because I nearly killed myself. So I can terrify people within my own understanding of my skill set. So I can't imagine what you can do. Like, I'd probably piss myself, but I think it'd be fucking awesome.
Yeah,
so funny.
Crispy went. I hate to throw Crispy under the bus because I fucking love him, but he went 3 miles
3 miles
Before he wanted
was
to get
like,
out.
I'm done.
before he's like, I'm gonna get a sip of water real quick.
Yeah.
And he's one of the baddest motherfuckers I ever met in my life.
Yeah.
So it depends on like it, and I think that comes from the understanding of like the maximum level of performance that you've had in something that you highly respect, like a Razor or like a badass Humvee or whatever that you've driven in the military. So those are the best people that have never been in any race car. They actually don't know how fast they're going. They don't know how, well it performs.
Right.
People that have that foundation, people that own Raptors for sure, they're like, dude, this thing's probably twice as fast as my Raptor. And it's hilarious to watch them react, because every single piece of muscle tissue is just completely flexed for the first 5 minutes. And then I'm like, dude, you got to breathe. You're going to die.
Yeah.
Oh, this sounds so
Can't
much
wait.
fun.
Can't wait.
Do you have a
Here's the
track? Do
video.
you have a track here in Vegas?
I
He's got your
do.
loop, your 13.
Yeah, well, I have a 13.5-mile loop here in Vegas that I do in 10 minutes and 35 seconds, and then I have another track.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and then I have.
So twice as fast as my Raptor.
Yeah, so then I have I just got a new loop that I'm really liking. It's 17.5 miles, and we do it in 15 minutes and 18 seconds. And it's got a lot more elements in it. The reason why I like that track, I'm probably going to do more testing at this track and more development there than here in Vegas, even though it's further. But it's got a lot of blind rises and a lot of very large jumps, and some of them are jumps leading into an intersecting road that you have to come off the face and rotate the truck in the air and land sideways without crashing.
I want to go so bad.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
I'll give you free coffee for life if I get a go.
Yes.
Sorry, Evan. You can come with me too.
I know. It's like an open bid.
Fucking crazy, man.
I just want to be
Rotating
terrified. I
the
like to
truck
be terrified.
mid-air to get a
We're going to do a
corner.
video special on this one.
This is going to be crazy,
Yeah.
dude.
What you'll really be blown away is the fact that two different things. It's 6,495 pounds. It makes 900 horsepower. It doesn't accelerate very well. It doesn't slow down very well, and it doesn't like to change direction. Doesn't make sense that it would scare the fucking shit out of you, does it?
No. Those statements collectively scared me just saying them.
Yeah.
Because you have to know it. You have to know the turn, I'm sure. You have to know the course. I mean, there's a question. Like, when you're doing these long-ass courses, do you actually get to, like, do previs on them and, like, understanding what's going on there?
Yeah, so actually Tori writes my notes. It's good to, be in the presence of such a champion-minded individual in her. She's really, really hard worker, and she's done a lot to be an asset to the team, specifically in pre-running. And my pre-runners, best way I could describe my pre-runner, it's a production vehicle with a race truck wrapped around it. So it's all it's got windows, working doors, a windshield. It's got a radio in it, and it's 3 seats and everything. It's got a full tube chassis and 4-inch shocks and 25 inches of wheel travel in front and 33 in the back, and a motor that is okay. It's got to run on 85 octane Mexican gas. It's got a little bit of antifreeze in it. If I have to get fuel at one of those shady places, but we'll typically go around the Baja 500. 4 or 5 times in certain areas. We'll see certain areas only twice if I feel that it's not necessary to know them very well.
So there's a bunch of production that goes into running one of these courses.
A lot of work.
And then are you putting during this process
the notes alone,
right? Pre-staged gas points. This is where we want to refuel. This is where we want to, or is that all in the vehicle?
Yeah, that's not really. It's important information, but it's not. It's a different category of important information, where the bulk of the stuff that I'm really concerned about is 3 to 5 seconds into the future, like a refresher, because you only get one opportunity to hit that corner perfect.
Right.
You're never going to see that corner again.
Right.
You got one opportunity to hit that crest or hit that jump, and you got to do everything perfect if you want to make progress and get in the front of the line and have the possibility of winning another race or put yourself in line to win another championship. So notes are very, very important. Knowing the terrain is very, very important, and knowing the dangers, the areas that you got to slow down, and the areas that you got to drive out of your comfort level because it's necessary to manufacture time, I guess, so to say.
And then do you have a co-pilot in this, or what other term is? Do you use it
yeah, like a navigator. Yeah, like co-pilot or navigator. I do, and his primary focus is calling notes as well as letting me know if I have any kind of alarms. So he's got a Pi Dash right in front of him above the GPS, and that reads tire pressure, shock temperature, coolant pressure, coolant temperature, trans temperature, trans pressure, converter temperature, all the lambdas from every cylinder, fuel pressure, throttle, everything. This is like all the different stuff. And it's too much to scroll through and monitor because you'd be consumed with that instead of working on trying to get us going forward at a very high rate of speed. So we have alarms set up in the truck to say, converter temp is 327, and I'll make adjustments necessary to bring the temperature down through shifting. So there's a lot of a really big understatement would be there's a lot of moving parts and complications as it relates to this form of motorsports.
Sounds very complex. I feel like people might just think it's driving, but then all the intricacies that
Oh,
go
they
into
fucking
it.
all do. If I have a bad year, bad 2 years, they're like, oh, you fucking never win anything, and they don't realize I am like baking a cake. You got flour, and you got all this other bullshit in the cake. But in a cake, you have how many ingredients do you have in a cake? Maybe 10.
Why'd you look at the woman, BJ?
Well,
Just kidding.
she cooks. She makes the baddest fucking cakes possible. It's 4 ingredients. Okay, so with a trophy truck or with an off-road truck or race truck, at my level, I'm 1 ingredient, and there's 24,999 other ingredients.
Right.
If one of them fails, I've lost the 500 because an $8 bolt broke out of my brake pedal that saw no force at all.
Right.
Something that's designed to hold 2,000 pounds, and I'm pushing down on it with my foot, and it snapped. Maybe 60 miles from the finish line. I was beating the shit out of Robbie Gordon. It was fucking awesome. So, yeah, a lot of mechanical failures in this sport.
I feel like I could talk literally forever about this. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, no, I think we got to try to convince you into getting us in the truck for a spin.
Yeah, for sure.
Like I know you've already
video
done
on
it. I think that's the next episode.
Wait, convince
right?
me to get in the truck?
Yeah.
No, I'm saying I think we got to convince him to get us in there.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
That's right.
I would love. It's fucking honor. You
That
guys
would be
this.
awesome, right?
This would be
I am
great.
so in. Like
We
I
can-
know
yeah.
I'm not going into this with a big head, like thinking I can beat up
No.
Pit Cope and I'm a Marine. I'm going into this like I'm gonna be terrified, but it's gonna be awesome because it's like a once in a lifetime
Once in a
experience.
lifetime.
I really don't think you guys will be scared at all. There's certain levels to like
Right.
how people react. So you get like, fuck, I'm in this thing and it's tight and these seatbelts are crazy. Maybe I shouldn't have done this. That's like when the engine's running and I'm building oil temp and everything's warming
Right.
up. And then we leave, and I leave in first gear, and they're like, oh my God. I'm going like 35 miles. They're like, oh my God, this thing's way faster than I thought. I can't believe it go through these big holes. And second gear, they're like, dude, I'm going to fucking die. And they're peak terror.
Right.
And then as soon as I click into third gear and I'm going 85 to 115,
Right.
they're more confused.
Really.
Yeah, they're like, the fear is gone.
Right.
Because they're like, I don't know how this is happening. It'd be like jumping out the window and being able to fly.
Oh, right.
So
right.
don't-
I can
they
see
don't
there's a
understand.
level
It's
of like
confusion.
coherent
Yeah.
understanding
Yeah.
of the situation, which can like ping your own stressors and be like, okay, I'm scared, and it gets to the point where you're like, oh yeah, we're like flying when we jumped out of a window. Like,
Yeah.
I'm past the point.
Like,
of,
how is this happening? That's the
Yeah.
biggest reaction. The most common reaction I get as soon as I get up to speed. That's what they're like. What the fuck?
Jumping out the window and landing on your feet, going, okay, I fucking lived.
I guess
Look at that.
I guess that happened.
I guess I can.
That's
fly.
awesome.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I can't wait for this to
Yeah.
go down.
This is gonna be awesome.
This will be the
Guys-
greatest.
Yeah.
Like,
You guys will be so fucking stoked, and that's my favorite thing to do. Is like I take lots of people for rides, but my
Do you?
favorite thing to do is take veterans for rides, and especially you guys. We're all really good friends here. And it's
Is
just,
that I heard that was your slang? If war didn't give you PTSD, I will. So I'm excited for that.
That's
I mean,
great. Is that
was-
copyrighted? Can I
was
use that?
Literally, when me and Morgan Luttrell, like when Morgan got out of the Razor with Travis for the first time, he's like, "This is the scariest fucking thing I've ever done in my life."
With
And I'm like,
Pastrana?
I'm a fucking Navy SEAL.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what
it doesn't make
That's
sense.
exactly what I
Yeah.
said. It was like when I got out of that fucking rally car, I was like, dude, that was the scariest fucking thing.
This doesn't make sense.
That was the fucking scariest thing I've done.
That's
Let's
the
do it
opposite
again.
side of the
Let's do
spectrum.
it again.
Yeah, let's do it again.
Let's do it again.
Well, hey, thank you. Where can everybody find you at on social?
Social on Instagram is at BJ Baldwin.
You got a great Instagram.
Thank you.
Updated all the
do.
time with good
Super
videos, fun stuff. So yeah, definitely get over
Go
there.
check
and
out
check
BJ.
him out.
Like not only because like you're so well respected around this community, you're a phenomenal
Thank
human,
you.
and not only that, but you are such an inspirational figure in the racing world and all the things you've done. And it's so nice to meet people that are just fucking crushing their game, and they're not douches. So thank you for that. Thank you for being inspiration to us and our company. And
yeah, for sure.
Hope to hang out with you more, man. Seriously.
Yeah, we got to do it, man. We got to spend more time together. I love you guys and everything you guys do and everything you guys stand for. We got to save this great nation from some of the shit that's going on. It's fucking crazy.
And we got the big guns, so we'll let you shoot whatever you want.
Yeah, hell yeah. I want to. You know, I'm a Toyota guy. I want to drive the Prius.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, I would love to.
Awesome. Wow.
It's only like $50 a shot.
I was just gonna say, like for a second, it's $1,000.
It's like $1,000. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Thanks, everybody. This is Free Range American out of Las Vegas.